This is a reading of the U.S. Department of Labor Wage and Hour Division opinion letter dated July 1, 2019. This opinion letter discusses permissible rounding practices for calculating an employee's hours worked. The following is my reading of the full opinion letter. It's 2 pages, and here we go. July 1, 2019. Dear Name, this letter responds to your request for an opinion concerning whether a certain organization's rounding practices are permissible under the Service Contract Act, SCA, which uses principles applied under the Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA, to determine hours worked. This opinion is based exclusively on the facts you have presented. You represent that you do not seek this opinion for any party that the Wage and Hour Division, WHD, is currently investigating, or for use in any litigation that commenced prior to your request. Background. You inquire on behalf of a nonprofit organization that employs individuals with disabilities under government contracts that are subject to the SCA. This organization uses payroll software to calculate wages based on recorded time entries. You represent that the organization's payroll software rounds each employee's daily hours worked in a neutral manner. Specifically, employees generally clock in and out for each work period using a time clock or computer, and the payroll software converts the amount of time an employee records working in each work period into a numerical figure in decimal form extended out to 6 decimal points. For example, 7 hours and 30 minutes converts to 7.500000 hours. The payroll software then totals the converted hours, extended to 6 decimal points, for each work period on each working day to calculate a numerical figure for daily hours, which is also extended out to 6 decimal points. Next, the software rounds that number to 2 decimal points. If the third decimal is less than 0.005, the second decimal stays the same. For example, 6.784999 hours worked rounds down to 6.78 hours. But if the third decimal is 0.005 or greater, the second decimal rounds up by 0.01. For example, 6.865000 hours worked in a workday rounds up to 6.87 hours. Finally, the software calculates daily pay by multiplying the rounded daily hours number by the SCA prevailing wage. General Legal Principles, page 2. The SCA generally requires government contractors to satisfy certain minimum compensation standards for employees under covered contracts. See 41 U.S.C. 6701 ET-SEQ. SCA regulations provide that contractors should calculate hours worked by using FLSA principles set forth in Part 785 of the regulations. See 29 CFR 4.178. See also 29 CFR Part 785. Section 785.48b acknowledges that it is common and acceptable for employers to round time in determining an employee's hours worked, provided that doing so will not result over a period of time in failure to compensate the employees properly for all the time they have actually worked. 29 CFR 785.48b. It has been our policy to accept rounding to the nearest 5 minutes, 1/10 of an hour, 1/4 of an hour, or 1/2 hour, as long as the rounding averages out so that the employees are compensated for all the time they actually work. See ID WHD Opinion Letter 1994 WL 1004879, November 7, 1994. See also Corbin versus Time Warner Entertainment Advance Newhouse Partnership 821 F 3D 1069 1077-79 9th Circuit 2016, upholding a policy of rounding to the nearest quarter hour, which was neutral on its face and as applied to the plaintiff employee over several pay periods. Opinion. Based on the facts you provided, this particular organization's method of calculating hours worked complies with FLSA regulations and is therefore compliant under the SCA. Its rounding practice is neutral on its face. The practice also appears to average out so that it fully pays its employees for all of the time that they actually work. Accordingly, the organization's rounding practice will not result over a period of time in failure to compensate the employees properly for all the time they have actually worked. 29 CFR 785.48b. We trust that this letter is responsive to your inquiry. Sincerely, Cheryl M. Stanton, Administrator. Note, the actual names was removed to protect privacy in accordance with 5 U.S.C. 552b7. The following are 4 footnotes to this letter. 1. You represent that the organization does not pay any employee a sub-minimum wage rate under FLSA Section 14C 29 U.S.C. 214C. Footnote 2. You represent that a work period is the time between a clock in and clock out during a workday, and that usually one work period precedes a break of at least 30 minutes, and one work period follows the break. According to your letter in footnote 3, the software rounds an employee's daily hours downward by no more than 0.29994 minutes per day and rounds an employee's daily hours upward by as much as 0.3 minutes per day. Footnote 4. As noted above, the SCA uses FLSA principles to determine an SCA employee's hours worked. See 29 CFR 4.178. As such, the FLSA's rounding rule in 29 CFR 785.48b applies to the SCA. Thanks again for listening to the HR Learning Podcast. Copyright HeidiMcCumber.com. All rights reserved.